Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about having an Aries Venus in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology series, I did a series on the Venus signs. And I said my YouTube astrology channel, sorry. When I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the Venus signs in a natal chart. And they may have been a little bit concise, and some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series in which they on the Venus signs, in which it would be a little bit longer, more descriptive. So anyway, first up, as far as an Aries Venus goes, well, the Venus is connected, of course, with relationships and important friendships. So, these people, for an Aries Venus may actually be, in some cases, Aries Sun, Moon, and ascendant people, or embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be people that are very, assertive, aggressive, outspoken, abrupt, impulsive, impetuous, very forceful people. And they may be, one or more of these people may be in some kind of Aries profession, which can include arson investigation, welding, carpentry, law enforcement, combat sports, surgery, working as a surgeon, as some examples. Now, Venus in astrology is also associated with what we love and enjoy. And having an Aries Venus, the person may love and enjoy, things associated with the military. It could be playing war games, whether it's board games that are connected with war and battle, or whether there are video games associated with that. It could be combat sports, which can include a wide divergence of things, whether it be karate, judo, boxing, as some examples. You can, and also the more violent, volatile sports, which I would include football and hockey, in that. And it can be as well, and also doing even, fireworks. This person may enjoy. I guess around that 4th of July time, this person may be very enamored with fireworks. And also, it can be, having, the Venus, Aries Venus. It's also, I would say just competition, just in general, is what this person, may be, very, enamored with, and it's something that he or she may very strongly enjoy. Now, and also motorcycle riding as well. I would say this person loves and enjoys adventure very much. Now, Venus is also associated with self-worth. So, having an Aries Venus, well, matters of self-worth may be tied in, to leadership prowess and ability, and it doesn't, necessarily just mean, being like, a manager or a person in authority at a place of business. It could simply be showing, leadership, by demonstrating initiative, as an example. And also being pioneering and innovative, creating something, inventing something can be tied into one's self-worth and self-esteem and how one feels about oneself. And excelling in combat sports, or the more volatile ones, which I described before, such as football or hockey, as some examples. The combat sports, again, can include karate, judo, boxing, as some examples. And just doing things, accomplishing things that require, physical strength, whether it's, bodybuilding, working out vigorously. Some examples, it could just be, even if somebody's working some, mundane, regular, general labor, such as a stock person, lifting boxes and getting, some things stocked, a certain amount of things stocked at a certain time, because that requires, I would say, physical strength as well, to some degree. And anyway, the thing about it is, and just winning battles in general, you know, whether it's a verbal battle or what have you. This is what I would say could be tied into one's self-worth with an Aries Venus. Now, another thing about Venus and astrology, it's those latent talents and abilities. And having an Aries Venus, those things can include, going back to, the combat, or I should say war games, being able to excel, in those games, combat sports, fighting, like a well sport that may involve that, and that would even include, like wrestling, being able to conquer, the opponent in something that requires physical strength. And also too, I would say, another thing about this as well is, as far as, the latent talents and abilities, it could be ability to be pioneering, to innovate. It can be, being an entrepreneur, doing even firefighting. These are things where this person, can have even helmet design. These are things that, this person, may have that talent or ability for. Um, Now, another thing about Venus is that it's associated with money. And, Venus and Aries, well, it can be where the person may make money in some Aries endeavor, and also can show, like the spending habits and, the attitude toward money. Now, having Venus and Aries, it could be where the person can be very impulsive and impetuous, very aggressive in that monetary matters. Let's say even if this person has a more, prudent and cautious Taurus sun, there may be, the spending may be a little bit more aggressive than the typical Taurus sun person. And it can also be where the person may make money in some Aries endeavor, whether, it's doing something, with speech pathology or physical therapy. It could be arson investigation, law enforcement, or being a surgeon, as some examples. Now, Venus is also associated with possession. So, this person, as far as what they may like to possess, things they buy and that they retain and hold on to, could be firearms, it could be military, type items, and it could be commemorative things associated with the military, with the armed forces, things that are associated with firefighting, helmets, dirt bikes, motorbikes. It could be cutting instruments. Uh, it could be board games, whether they're, the board games and or video games, as some examples. Now, Venus is also associated with the food we love to indulge in, that we truly are enjoy, we're enamored with. So, having an Aries Venus, the person may really enjoy, those spicy, hot type foods like hot wings. I think Cajun fries are fairly hot as well, if I'm not mistaken. You may want to confer that on the internet, but and also just having things that can, drinks, especially that can bolster energy, like energy drinks, or the drinks that have, the strong caffeine, whether you're having coffee or like a Mountain Dew, something that has, gives you an abundance of energy. It could be meat. And also too, another thing that Aries, Venus and Aries people may like to indulge in could be reddish meat, I would say, as well as another example. Now, Venus is also connected with our values. So having, an Aries Venus, those values, can be, associated with courage and fortitude, being assertive and aggressive, going after what he or she wants, showing initiative and enterprise, being spontaneous, not always having to be, plot and plan things, being pioneering and innovative, and also, just acting quickly on things, not hesitating or procrastinating. I think it's interesting too because Venus is also connected with the throat and the neck. So, I think, with Aries Venus, there may be some susceptibility to burns or cuts, on the as far as the net goes. So it's something to consider when you have an Aries Venus in your natal chart. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.